Next, we have Steve Roussel from M&T Bank, and he's going to be talking about their specific grant or down payment assistance program that they have as well. Oops, I think I muted you by accident. You should be unable to unmute yourself, Steve.
All right, there we go.
There we
All
go.
right. Well, thank you for having me, Denisha. And I'm going to be talking about our grant program. And let me see if I can center this where I am. Whoa. All right. So here's the grant program. And what I want you to know about me is that I'm a little bit different. And how am I different? If you're in a low income census tract or low income, let's take Hampden County. I do lend in Hampden County. Um, Low census tract. So to get a $10,000 grant in Hampden would be 48,100. To get the 5,000 in income would be in Hampden in Hampshire County. I meant to say 95,200. So in Hampshire County, it's 50% of HUD median income is 59,500. So with that Amherst property, I could do an MHP with this 5,000 or with this 10,000, whether it's the MHP, MHP One Plus, the MassHousing. We don't have an area restriction like some of the other smaller banks. I can use this on Home Ready. Home Ready has a lower score. So if you're buying in Amherst or if you're buying in Chelsea, like I am right now, I do a lot of condos. I have a condo specialist team. We can use this $5,000 and this $10,000, which is a grant. We could use it with all the down payment assistance programs. We can use it with all the grant programs out there. I'm working up in Lowell where I can stack all this stuff. So if we're able to stack, I could stack not only with MHP and MassHousing, but if you do have lower scores, I can stack with a 620 credit score. I could stack with Home Possible. I could stack with Home Ready. Why would you want to use this $5,000, this $10,000 with those products? Give you an example. I have a woman that I've been working with for 3 months, and her credit score was 590. We had to go to her credit. We had to go to a credit report, and we had to plot a strategy on how we were going to get her to a 640 credit score, and we did that. What we had to do with her, she did a 1 plus in Boston. We knew that she was going to get down payment assistance, but remember, the city of Boston has sometimes they have that grant that's an asset needs test. My grant money here is not an asset needs test. So what we had to do is we had to use all her money that she had in the bank, but we kept 1.5% of the purchase price. We used all her money to make her scores go up. So we can do that stuff. One of the things that I'd like to talk about is that I use other down payment assistance like the American Federal State Council Municipal Employee. That's for the city of Boston. SEIU. I do a lot of union grants. I do union grants with Local 26. So if you're in the union, I can do that stuff. I have a product that is FHA and VA that can go to 580 credit scores. I'm doing a loan right now in East Boston where it's a moderate census tract. He's a cop. He has a 610 credit score, and he's getting $5,000. He's getting a $5,000 grant. Remember, the grants, as soon as you get the grant, it's we don't have you pay it back. With the down payment assistance, with the MassHousing, you pay it back. I'm one of the top MassHousing lenders. I use this grant and I stack on a bunch of stuff. We had a situation where that same woman was buying in South Boston, and it was in an upper census tract. So the moral of the story on this one is that if they're in an upper census tract, but she's making less than 50% HUD median income, which she was, I was able to get her that $10,000. Okay, so sometimes everything's a strategy. So with me, I'm going to be able to use this grant stuff on MHP. I'm going to be able to use it on Mass Housing. I'm a City of Boston participating lender. I can use it in the City of Boston. I'm using the stash. So here's where all the stacking comes in. I have that other grant stuff with all the other unions. I I have a portfolio product myself, which is a little bit different than the previous lender. If I'm in a low mod census tract, I can have no PMI. I'll have no PMI and I'll have a little bit of a lower 30-year fixed rate. So we don't have an income limit on that. Okay. If it's low mod census tract. Okay. So our portfolio is a little bit different. Another thing that I wanted to talk about for all those people there that have student loans, I have the Home Ready, which is Fannie Mae. That's on a student loan. You use 1% of a forbearance. But here's what I want you to know about student loans. With the IDR programs that are out there, the income driven repayment programs, as long as you're in an IDR, we don't have to count that student loan as a debt at all. Okay. If you are in forbearance, we have two calculations. We have the Fannie Mae calculation at 1%, and then we also have the Freddie Mac calculation at 0.5%. And with FHA, if we go FHA, they use 0.5%. So with those people that have student loans, it's going to be a strategy with me. It's going to be a strategy on how to maximize all this money that we got coming in to structure a loan that's going to best meet your needs and keep as much money in your pocket and get an affordable mortgage. Looking down at what I wanted to talk about, Denisha, I think I'm all set. I talked about a little bit of everything. I'm a lender that lends in 48 states. I do have these grants in other states. There was a question on whether someone was looking to buy out of Massachusetts. I have a 48 state footprint, so these grants that I have are in other states. I recently just followed someone from Massachusetts, and I went to New Hampshire. I recently followed someone that was priced out of Boston, and we landed in Rhode Island. And not too many lenders are lending in New York, but Rochester, New York, Buffalo, New York, the prices are not as expensive. I can follow you to New York. So you could see that here we have Connecticut, Washington, D.C., Delaware, Maine, Massachusetts, Maryland, New Hampshire. These grants are all over the place. So if you're looking for some stacking, if you're looking for someone that's going to work with you, like I worked with that woman 3 months ago we just took that loan this week. We had to season it to make sure she had the credit to get the 1+. Just give me a try. So if you have any questions, let me know. And I want you to know that I'm the grant guy that stacks. That's what I'm known for.
He is.
Thank you, Denisha.
I will say he is. Thank you so much, Steve. Um, Steve, he searches for grant funds just like I do, and we inform each other when we find ways in which we can stack things. So he is great at strategizing in terms of how do we stack all of these programs and make it work. Um, so if
I'm
you
looking
know,
forward to seeing your list because Chelsea came out with something.
I don't know if we
So
list them on there. I have to
so
double check and
so
see.
so the North Shore Consortium, for those people that are buying in the North Shore Consortium, which is 7 cities on the North Shore. The funny thing is, they take care of Chelsea, and I'm doing this project in Chelsea, all these affordable units, and even though that they have this $10,000 0% interest rate for the North Shore Consortium that handles these 7 cities, one of the 7 cities, Chelsea, has a $20,000 0% interest down payment assistance, and I could stack my 5,000 on that. So
Right.
I'm going to be I'm looking forward to getting your information just to see, what cities you have. And then I'm going to be filling in some, I think, for you maybe.
Awesome. No, thank you, Steve.